Hello everyone, I'm Miss Trish. I'm one of the RE teachers at UU St. Petersburg, and I'm here with the RE lesson for the 11th of October 2020. We're still focusing on deep listening. I'll light the chalice and let the lesson begin. Love is the spirit of this church and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. As I said, our theme is deep listening, and we're focusing on listening to the voices of Black, Indigenous, and people of color. And there's an acronym that describes that. It's BIPOC. So if you hear me say those letters, that's what I'm talking about. Black, Indigenous, and people of color. So in other words, we're looking at dissolving racism. We are focusing on decentering whiteness. What does that mean? It means placing those BIPOC voices at the center of our storytelling and discussions. Our faith has taken up the work and called white UUs to be especially vigilant about the work of listening to and centering BIPOC voices. So what's one way our faith guides us to becoming a people of deep listening? It says, white UUs, listen to BIPOC voices and actively work to bring them into the center of our faith. I have some books to help us think about this plan. These are books from previous reading groups that I collected when I was teaching. This one, it's a lovely book written by a white author, and the characters are white, and that's fine, but not all people in the United States are white. Here's another book from a reading group. The author was Black, and the characters were mostly Black. However, there were a few white people. They seem to be scattered around there just to mix it up a little bit. So that's a little closer to what our country actually looks like. Here's another reading group book. This one has Black and white children through the whole book. So that's getting closer. But there are more than just Black and white children. This one I like. This one's called My School. And as you can see from the cover, there are Black children, white children, Hispanic children. Now, I don't see any Asian or Indian or Indigenous or anything else, but this is much closer to what it actually looks like. When I taught at public schools, the students that I taught were from all over the place. Many of them were born here, but their parents came from other countries. I had students from Indonesia, Nepal, Costa Rica, Jamaica. I had Asian students. I had students of all different skin tones and cultural backgrounds in my classes. Still, most of the teachers were white. But we can help to balance our country better. And one of the ways we can do it is by being aware of what's going on. And then we can decide which way to move. So let's look for and listen to the voices of people with different skin tones from ours and from different backgrounds. If you'd like to listen on YouTube to a book written by a Black author, we'll post a link for a read aloud called Around Our Way on Neighbor's Day. And we'll also post a link that you can read by a white author with a white narrator, and it features white characters. It's called And to Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street. Think about how you feel listening to a read aloud or reading a book that doesn't respectfully represent you, your family, or your community. It kind of feels like we get erased if we're not represented. Next time you go to the library, you could ask a librarian who has experience with trying to increase the number of books from BIPOC authors with BIPOC characters. Are there fewer of these books? Are they harder to find? Now it's story time. Actually, this is a history story time. This story is about a time in UU history when deep listening changed a decision that was racist and harmful to BIPOC people. It's about a time when a group of Unitarian Universalists had to make a difficult decision together and really needed to listen to each other. Unitarian Universalism is a living faith. We think that people should be free to believe what they must believe, the truth of their life experience, instead of just believing what they've been told to believe. This is what we mean when we say that ours is a creedless religion. Being a living faith means that any one of us can change what we believe if we experience a deeper truth that contradicts our previous beliefs. But in order to change, you have to be open to new thoughts, new ideas, and new experiences. You have to have your ears open to hear the experiences of people with whom you are in community. There is a saying that people were created with 2 ears and 1 mouth, because we should listen twice as much as we speak. When we come together in community, we have the opportunity to listen to each other and gain a perspective greater than what we had alone. Sometimes we listen with our ears. When you're a part of a sacred, beloved community, you listen not only with your ears, but also with your heart. A listening heart has the power to help us be better people. In 1948, most UU congregations and churches everywhere in the United States were segregated or separated by the color of the members' skin. Some were segregated by law, others by custom, or by lack of actively trying to welcome and include all people. First Unitarian Society of Chicago was one of these congregations. Although their church was located in a neighborhood with many African Americans, only whites could join, according to the written bylaws or rules of the church, and according to their custom. The day came that many members began to believe that they needed to take action against racism if they really wanted to live their values and principles. The minister, Reverend Leslie Pennington, was ready for this day and ready to take action. So was Dr. James Luther Adams. Dr. Adams was a famous liberal theologian and social ethicist, a person who studies religion, beliefs, and values. Dr. Adams taught at the Meadville Lombard Theological School, right across the street from the First Unitarian Society of Chicago, and he was a member of the congregation's board of directors, a leader in the congregation. Along with some others, Reverend Pennington and Dr. Adams proposed a change in the church's bylaws to desegregate the church and welcome people, whatever the color of their skin. They wanted to include, not exclude. They saw this as a way to put their love into action. When the congregation's board of directors considered the desegregation proposal, most of them supported it. However, one member of the board of directors objected. He said, "Your new program is making desegregation into a creed. You are asking everyone in our church to say they believe desegregating or inviting, even recruiting people of color to attend church here is a good way to tackle racism. What if some members don't believe this?" Desegregation was a very controversial subject in 1948. Anything about skin color and racism was controversial. Some people, even some who supported African Americans in demanding their civil liberties and rights, believed that in a separate but equal policy which kept people apart based on their skin color. Respectful debate ensued at the First Unitarian Society of Chicago. Both sides left in their hearts feeling that this belief was right. Perhaps they were so busy trying to be heard that they forgot to listen. And so they kept on talking. The debate went on in the board of directors meeting until the early hours of the morning. Everyone was exhausted. Finally, Dr. Adams remembered that we should be listening twice as much as talking. He asked the person who had voiced the strongest objection, "What do you say is the purpose of this church?" Suddenly, everyone was listening. Everyone wanted to hear the answer to this crucial question. Probably the person who objected was listening especially hard to his own heart, and maybe he needed to listen to the words he had heard from others, from the board of directors, and through that long discussion. The board members who opposed opening the church to people of color finally replied, "Okay, Jim, the purpose of this church is to get hold of people like me and change them." After that, the First Unitarian Society of Chicago successfully desegregated. There are things that you know and things that I know. When we work together and listen to each other with our ears and hearts, we know more. What do you think is the lesson in this story? If there's someone there with you, you can pause the video and talk it over. If there is no one there with you, you can pause the video and talk it over with yourself. Maybe you know an adult who has a story they can tell you about deep listening, a time when they were at a meeting or trying to decide something with a family, or a group when deep listening changed the outcome. So now I'm going to pass the microphone to Miss Janae, who will take us through the meditation. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I send you all my love, and I look forward to a time when we can be together again. Until then, namaste.
So we're going to go into our mindfulness. So we're going to practice our powerful pauses. The time is now to learn to listen deeply. It's important with our anti-racism work. Regardless of our age, a white UU can say things that exclude or hurt the feelings of a BIPOC person. When a person of color says, "You hurt my feelings," a white person may feel defensive and want to argue back and speak at them rather than listen to them. Okay? So if you are a white person, you also need to learn the practice of taking a pause and taking a deep breath so you can listen better to respond versus reacting defensively. So if you are a person of color, it helps to remember to take care of yourself by practicing to pause so you can decide a way of responding of what feels safest and what's best to you. So I have an article that is in the newsletter that you can check out to learn a little bit more. We're going to flow right into our mindfulness meditation. I invite you to move into our meditation position. Sit comfortably in your chair or on the floor. Put your hands on your lap or on your knees. Sit up nice and tall and focus your eyes in front of you. Find your breath breathing in your body by taking in one breath in through your nose and slowly breathing it out of your mouth. Like computers, at times our operating systems can benefit from a reboot. How many breaths does it take to reset your nervous system? Begin with 5 breaths in and out. Inhale for 1 count, exhale for 1 count. Or you can say breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in for 2 counts, breathe out for 2 counts. Breathe in for 3 counts, breathe out for 3 counts. Breathe in for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts. Inhale for 5 counts, exhale for 5 counts. Now ask your children, do they notice any changes after this exercise? Do they feel lighter? Do they feel open? Hey parents, Janae Johnson here. I'm your religious education and communications coordinator here at Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg, Florida. We are having a drive-through fall festival October 31st between the hours of 5 to 6:30 p.m. Parents, you're more than welcome to bring out your vehicles and deck it out for this holiday special. Now, also, this is a combination. This is a combination of a food drive as well. All the food will be donated to our Southside Food Bridge. Now, the goal is to bring as much non-perishable foods as you can. And we're going to fill up the purple monster mount at this event, all right? This event is transpiring in our parking lot, our new parking lot. That's right, I said it, our new parking lot, just to the left of our building if you're standing in front. Now the way you're going to enter this space is coming up north on 8th Street North and making a right-hand turn onto 2nd Avenue North. At which point the parking lot is just shy of the corner. You will see that big building that our church now sits beside, and And the parking lot is right there. You absolutely cannot miss it. We'll have signage. There'll also be a kind St. Pete police officer conducting the traffic control, make sure traffic moves nice and fluidly. I would say fluidly and slowly in the same word. Anybody ever done that combined words? Anyway, gotta laugh at yourself sometimes. But also we have a special treat as well. You can either A, just exit the parking lot and keep going on your festivities for the evening, or B, turn back into the parking lot and hit up Kona Ice. That's right, I said Kona Ice will be in the building. Well, technically on the parking lot. So, parents, if you guys would like to participate, feel free to send me an email at this email address below. Actually, let's put it right down there. Email address right there. Shoot me an email, shoot me a text, give me a call if you would like to participate. We have a total of, we can have 16 decorated vehicles trunk or treat. So far we have confirmed 6, so we have 10 more spaces to go. I know we'll get these things filled up. The goal is to be present and also adhere to our first 3 principles. And guys, this is going to be super fun and I can't wait to see you all. Time is ticking. Thank you guys so much for your support.